So the Crew Motorfest has this race called the Grand Race that I really enjoy. It's absolutely insane. You can see here we're starting off in a Red Bull Formula 1 car with no racing suit on, just me and my gloves wearing a t-shirt. And there's 26 cars that have started this race, and it's utter carnage. It's my first time driving this car. The concept of the Grand Race, as you're going to see in this video, I think is a really, really good idea. Forza Horizon have come up with some interesting stuff like the Eliminator. Oh my word. There's big death at this corner. Don't worry, it's going to get better driving than this as I understand how to drive the car. The Crew has an interesting driving model that's very, very, very weighty. So if you overshoot a corner, you can't just normally kind of save it. You are going to hit the barrier. So it forces you to really brake early and think about weight transfer. It's quite interesting. A bit more realistic than I was expecting maybe. But the Grand Race is a sort of... If you think about the Crew copies a lot of stuff from Forza Horizon, obviously. If you think about the initial levels, or the first level of Forza Horizon when you open the game, it's always like you jump out of a plane in a car and then you turn to another plane, there's like a hurricane trying to eat you, and then you go underwater and then there's a tsunami and then you go into space. It's always like mad travel. And this Grand Race is sort of a little bit like that. It's a massive point-to-point race that I think is randomly generated, which is really, really cool when you think about it. So it's a randomly generated point-to-point race that's sort of massively... It's a massive lobby, 26 drivers. You can do it with 28 drivers as well. And you end up driving in different cars. So here we are starting in the Red Bull. We're back up, by the way, into P12 as I'm learning a little bit more how to drive the car, just going side by side with a fellow Red Bull driver here. Oh, and he goes into the wall. Did he survive? Maybe. I don't know. And we're tearing through the island. And when we get to 33%, something very interesting is going to happen. Are we going to go over the jump? Oh, I didn't go over the jump. Silly me. Why not go over the jump? It's the first rule of racing games. You see a jump, you go, oh, okay. He's gone over the jump. Hang on, my rear wing isn't a jump for him. See, the driver ahead is notable as a Porsche fan. But you're going through here and you kind of, oh, we've hit the thing. No. You're going to have to do a 360. Going to have to try and recover. There we go. And it is a pretty brutal race. I'm not sure there's any rewinds and stuff available. So if you massively shoot past a checkpoint, that is kind of it for you. Oh, there we go. That was a breaking mark. Oh, he's had us back. Fair play. All's fair in love and war there. He's a European achiever. Very nice. Now we're in a sort of canyon. It's taking me to places of the map that I wouldn't normally go. Here we go. So now I'm in a Porsche 918 Spider. How cool is that? So now we've changed into a different car. And for this part of the race, I think pretty much everyone's in the same car. So there's different categories of car. The first one was like a prototype where the F1 cars sit, but you saw someone else was in a different prototype car. This, I believe, is hypercars, as the nitrous comes out the top. So everyone here is in the hypercar. I don't actually own any hypercars. This is a loaned hypercar for me, and I'm driving it like it's loaned, frankly. We saw the damage on the front there. And we're trying to catch up. Now, as a massive point-to-point race, there's still a lot to play for. So right now in P18, we were up to P12. We were all the way back down as well, and now we're sort of in the middle in P18. Can we get any more positions? Big braking zone here. Gonna try and brake in time. Oh, just bounces the barrier. It doesn't pay you dividends really, bouncing off the barrier in this game, I've noticed. And also, you lose a lot of speed by going off-road in these sort of road cars, racing cars. So again, it's an interesting dynamic they've set up where they really encourage you to drive well on the tarmac. I don't think you can turn off, in the beta at least, that braking line that comes up in the corners. But arguably, if it's turned off, it just becomes really impossible to know what to do. The braking line is really helpful in an open world game like this. So it didn't turn on here until very late. Here we've got Antonio XXD and 3 other cars that we're sort of racing with right now. So when we get to 66%, 2/3 way through, we'll change into our final form. But now we're in a battle for 15th place. And this is the dynamic of, oh, he's gone wide and I've helped him off. Sorry, Antonio. This is a dynamic of these point-to-point races. That you kind of find groups, catch up with them. There's the Porsche fan, again, who I don't believe is in a Porsche as a Porsche fan. What are you doing? Why are you in a Koenigsegg, sir? If you're a Porsche fan, be a Porsche fan. So now there's 5 of us sort of cruising together. This is the battle for 15th place. And I've been pleasantly surprised by the handling physics. Oh, they've gone wide. That's going to be really terminal for them. I've been pleasantly surprised by the handling physics in the Crew. Oh, Motorfest, as we go a bit deeper. It's a very weighty game. Very weighty, which I really like. Coming from someone like Gran Turismo, where the cars sort of don't always feel that attached to the tarmac, especially somewhere like rallying in Gran Turismo. This feels like you're skating a little bit. The Crew, you really feel that weight transfer. Big, heavy cars. It's inherently an understeer game. I have tried to tune some of the cars to take some of that downforce off the rear, try and lift the rear up and allow it to rotate a little bit more. You also don't really gain a lot of speed by drifting, I think. I don't think there's any sort of cheesing you can do there. And like I said, going off-road will really lose your speed, and hitting the barriers loses your speed as well. You can try and recoup it by putting on the nitro, but it just doesn't really work in my experience. Right, 66% is coming up, 66% I should say, which is your cue to subscribe as well. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Now in the Aston Martin, oh, the Vanquish, which is my sort of GT Trans-America touring car from the Crew 2 that I've imported into the Crew Motorfest. And oh, going over the jump, here we go. Trying to get a P13. This is not a racing car in any way, shape or form. Oh, this is a disaster. Going to smash the Y button there and reset. There goes a Corvette C8 ahead of us. But this is not a car that's built for racing. It's built for sort of getting from New York to San Francisco on the highways. So I don't really know what the strength of this car is, but I suspect it's not tight and twisty corners that we seem to be finding in this grand race. Now, if the grand race is actually procedurally generated randomly every time, then it means you don't really have an advantage unless you know the island very well. So it might reward people who kind of play the Crew and really know the island, like this is a great place to do a shortcut here, rather than being able to memorize certain levels, if that makes sense. That's a very, very, very interesting dynamic. And compared to Forza Horizon's Eliminator mode, which I think you have 50 cars in Eliminator, but you don't really... Eliminator is a bit of a weird mode. I don't know if Eliminator we can say has failed. I've really tried to enjoy it like a Battle Royale experience, but just don't think it really translates well in cars. The idea that you go around and you meet a car and you race them, it was just a bit too random. It's basically whoever's facing the right way when the line is chosen sort of is at a massive advantage. So I'd rather do some racing, and if you treat the island we're on here, Hawaii, like a sort of Battle Royale map, and there seems to be a better way of doing it. And I want to win one of these races, by the way. I want to win a grand race in the Crew. I don't think it's going to be this one, though, because we're 88%. Can I brake in time? On the handbrake as well. Oh, just hitting the barrier. Can we get Electro 99 who's in the Supra? Oh, no. My Aston Martin. Take a shortcut, man. Electro's gone off. It's Antonio again. We're in the Sunflowers. Disaster. We need to get a better car. They do say that performance is disabled in this mode, but I don't think that means as much as you think. I mean, look at that Porsche. Is that a Cayman getting away from us? I really think I'm at a disadvantage in my Aston Martin Vanquish in this race. Let me know in the comments if you know more about the grand race, and if you want to see more of the Crew Motorfest on this channel, as there goes Electro in the Supra. That's the car that you win in the playlist. So fair play. He's drifting around like one drifty boy. Oh, we're going to go up the inside. We're going to make contact on the exit. No, we don't. Have we got ahead of him? Yes, we have. The time is going to run out here. We're going to get done by the timer. 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, and it's going to be a 16th place finish for us. So we need to do better. But I actually really like this format. Very interesting format. The grand race in the Crew Motorfest. Running amazing in my RTX 4090. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.